The biographies of great men. 岳飞
The general, Yue Fei, 1103 through 1141, is probably one of the best-known military personalities in Chinese history. Despite his birth in a poor farmer's household in Henan province, it did not take long for the village boy to become a hero of the southern Song dynasty. When he was still a baby, his house fell victim to a flood. His mother hid his family in a large barrel to escape the flood. Yue Fei came from a poor family, so his mother could not afford to let him attend school. His mother taught him to read and write. The intelligent boy worked hard in both his studies and physical trainings. One of the books he found fascinating was Sun Tzu's Art of War. He learned valuable lessons from the work, and the knowledge he gained helped him enormously in the future. As a young man, he was strong enough to pull a bow that weighed over 100 caddies. This brought him to the attention of the legendary marksman Zhou Tong, who had high expectations for the child, and took him in as his student. Zhou Tong was a knowledgeable master, and he taught Yue Fei everything he knew, from martial arts to tactical studies. Under his tutelage, Yue Fei became a man of integrity and an accomplished student who was trained in both military doctrines and classic works. During the last days of the northern Song dynasty, Jurchen armies invaded the lands. People were forced to leave their homeland. Feeling the sufferings of his own country, Yue Fei decided to join the army. His mother noticed his concerns and told him, "My son, no one can fulfill both the loyalty to the country and the duty to one's parents at the same time. The welfare of the nation should be your most important concern. There is no need to worry about me." Having said this, Yue Fei's mother took out her silver pin and tattooed the words "盡忠報國" on his back. This was to remind her son of his mission, to banish the invading army and to recover the homeland for his nation. Yue Fei bade farewell to his mother and left his home to join the army. Yue Fei demonstrated his skill as both tactician and leader, and he helped the Song army win victory after victory. The force he led, known as Yue Fei's army, brought terror to the hearts of his enemies. When they heard Yue Fei's army was coming, they would rather flee than fight. Victorious general dominated the battlefields for almost 2 decades. The battles he fought usually ended in the defeat of opposing forces. True to the promise he made to his mother, Yue Fei and his forces nearly succeeded in defeating the Jurchen forces. It was during this critical moment that the tides of fate began to turn against the great general. The ruling emperor was also nervous about Yue Fei's accomplishments, and he feared that the general would bring back the old emperor and restore him to power. He followed Jin Kuai's suggestion and sent 12 imperial edicts to order Yue Fei and his troops to return home. Unable to defy the command of the emperor, Yue Fei and his men retreated from the enemy's gate, forever denied a final victory. When he returned to face the imperial court, Yue Fei was accused of many crimes he didn't commit. It didn't take long before Yue Fei was relieved of his duty, imprisoned, and executed. He was 39 years old at the time of his death. However, his loyalty and patriotism did not go unnoticed, and the people remembered this mighty general. Today, many people visit his tomb at Hangzhou. The statue of Qin Huai can be seen outside Yue Fei's tomb, kneeling in shame before the great general for eternity.
The biographies of great men. Chu Yuan.
Chu Yuan was born in 340 BC and died in 277 BC. He came from an imperial family of the Chu state during Warring States period. His background and diligence allowed him to become a minister of Chu while he was in his 20s. The other ministers at court were very jealous of his talent. They spoke ill of him in front of the king of Chu. Therefore, the corrupted king distanced himself from Chu Yuan and took away his position. Qin was a very powerful state and was eager to invade Chu. Chu Yuan advocated joining with other states to fight against Qin. The king did not listen. Because of this, the troops of Chu were greatly defeated by Qin. Seeing the situation getting worse, Chu Yuan was very worried. However, the king of Chu still accepted an invitation from Qin to visit. Chu Yuan sensed that something was wrong, but the king did not take his advice. In the end, the king was murdered in Qin. Chu Yuan wailed painfully when he heard of the king's death. When the new king of Chu came to power, he still ignored Chu Yuan's strategy and even married the king of Qin's daughter. This, along with other wrong decisions, put Chu in disgrace. Not being able to bear his disappointment, Chu Yuan wrote verses that criticized the court and suggested the disgrace. The king was so furious that he exiled Chu Yuan to the south. Life during the exile was horrible. Chu Yuan did a lot of thinking while in the countryside and wrote poetry. Some people told him to get away from politics and live a peaceful life in the south. Chu Yuan answered, "How can I be blind to everything when the country is declining and people are suffering?" Qin launched powerful attacks and weakened Chu. Chu Yuan rushed back to the capital, trying to save his country. But again the king not only rejected his idea, but also ordered him to leave. Disappointed and upset by the king's corruption, he walked to the riverside of Milo. He wasn't able to save his country and thought his life meaningless. So he carried a rock and threw himself into the river to show his loyalty to the king. People heard about this and raced out on their boats to save him. They threw rice dumplings into the river so that the fish would not eat Chu Yuan's body. Later, this became part of the tradition of the Dragon Boat Festival.
Word day 单字
General, general,
将军
military, military,
军事
personality, personality,
名人
household, household,
家庭
village, village,
乡村
hero, hero,
英雄
victim, victim,
受害者
flood, flood,
洪水
barrel, barrel,
水缸
escape, escape,
逃离
afford, afford,
提供
attend, attend,
上学
physical training, physical training,
体能锻炼
fascinating, fascinating.
极好的
Knowledge, knowledge.
知识，
Enormously, enormously.
巨大的
Catty, catty.
精，
Legendary, legendary.
传说中的
Marksman, marksman.
神射手，
Expectation, expectation.
期望，
Martial art, martial art.
武术，
Tutelage, tutelage.
指导，
Integrity, integrity.
正直，
Doctrine, doctrine.
原理，
Invade, invade.
入侵，
Homeland, homeland.
家乡，
Suffering, suffering.
痛苦，
Concern, concern.
关心的事，
Fulfill, fulfill.
完成，
Loyalty, loyalty.
忠心，
Banish, banish.
赶走，
Recover, recover.
收复，
Demonstrate, demonstrate.
展现，
Tactician, tactician.
战略家，
Victory, victory.
胜利，
Terror, terror.
恐惧，
Enemy, enemy.
敌人，
Flee, flee.
逃跑，
Dominate, dominate.
占据，掌控，
Battlefield, battlefield.
战场，
Defeat, defeat.
战胜，
Force, force.
势力，
Critical, critical.
关键，
Turn against, turn against.
敌视，
Accomplishment, accomplishment.
成就，
Restore, restore.
归还，
Imperial edict, imperial edict.
圣旨，
Defy, defy.
违抗，
Accused, accused.
被控告的，
Crime, crime.
罪行，
Commit, commit.
做错事，
Relieve, relieve.
解除，
Imprison, imprison.
监禁，
Execute, execute.
将什么什么处决，
Tomb, tomb.
墓，
Eternity, eternity.
永恒，
Word dish 单字
Imperial, imperial.
皇家的，
Warring States period, Warring States period.
战国时代，
Background, background.
背景，
Diligence, diligence.
勤勉，
Allow, allow.
允许，
Minister, minister.
大臣，
20s, 20s.
20几岁，
Court, court.
朝廷，
Jealous, jealous.
嫉妒的，
Speak ill, speak ill.
说坏话，
Corrupt, corrupt.
腐败的，
Distance, distance.
疏远，
Position, position.
职位，
Powerful, powerful.
强大的，
Eager, eager.
急切的，
Invade, invade.
入侵，
Advocate, advocate.
提倡，
Troop, troop.
军队，
Defeat, defeat.
战胜，
Situation, situation.
情况，
Worried, worried.
担心的，
Invitation, invitation.
邀请，
Sense, sense.
察觉到，
Advice, advice.
建议，
Murder, murder.
谋杀，
Wail, wail.
痛哭，
Painfully, painfully,
痛苦的。
ignore, ignore,
忽视，
strategy, strategy,
策略，
disgrace, disgrace,
耻辱，
bear, bear,
承担，
disappointment, disappointment,
失望，
verse, verse,
诗篇，
criticize, criticize,
批评，
suggest, suggest,
暗示，
furious, furious,
愤怒，
exile, exile,
放逐，
horrible, horrible,
可怕的，
countryside, countryside,
乡间，
poetry, poetry,
诗，
politics, politics,
政治，
peaceful, peaceful,
和平的，
blind, blind,
视而不见的，
decline, decline,
衰落，
suffer, suffer,
受苦，
launch, launch,
发动，
weaken, weaken,
削弱，
rush, rush,
赶去，
capital, capital,
首都，
reject, reject,
不接受，
upset, upset,
沮丧，
corruption, corruption,
腐败，
riverside, riverside,
河边，
meaningless, meaningless,
无意义的，
throw, throw,
把什么什么投进，
loyalty, loyalty,
忠心，
race, race,
全速行进，
rice dumpling, rice dumpling,
粽子，
tradition, tradition,
传统，
dragon boat festival, dragon boat festival,
端午节。